Welcome everyone. In today's third session, I'm talking about psycholinguistics. As you know, psycholinguistics actually defines psychological aspects of language. So, as it is written here, psycholinguistics has provided numerous theories that explain how a person acquires a language, produces, perceives both spoken and written language. Just imagine when you are talking to a foreigner or a person whose native language is English. At that time, your brain becomes very active and sincere. When you are talking to your countryman, at that time, as you are also like using English as a second language, and that person also using English as a second language, in that case, what happens? Sincerity, psychological aspect does not function in the same way. So that is the big difference here. So we will talk about the theories have been used in the field of language teaching here. As you know, these are the keywords: psycholinguistics, approach, methods and teaching. So psycholinguistics is an integration of two disciplines: psychology and linguistics, as you can understand. So psychology and linguistics is very interesting. So some people believe that if you study psychology, you will be able to read the people's mind. So if you study both, then you have double dimension for sure, psycholinguistics. So psychology is the study of mind and behavior, that is important, mind and behavior. And linguistics is the study of language. So it's a combination. If you notice a child very carefully, if you notice a person from other districts of Bangladesh living in Chittagong, you will be able to differentiate the psychological aspects of language basically. So this is like in general, psycholinguistics can be defined as the study of mind and language. So that is the idea. So psycholinguistics has provided numerous theories that explain the 3 points above. The theories have been very useful in the field of language teaching, and some experts use them as the basic theories in developing language teaching methods. So it is also called psycholinguistics approach. So psychological factors, I should say, are possibly involved in language learning, and psycholinguistics focuses on the application of actual language and communication. How do you communicate? It is necessary to make a decision in applying various methods that allow students to easily understand a language. So one very interesting thing is in psycholinguistics is the language production, then language comprehension, then language acquisition. So what does it mean? You produce the language first, you understand it, and then you acquire it. How do you learn? Suppose a mother and a child. When a mother produces the language, like ba 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 ba, that sound has been produced by mother. Son, the little kid, will try to comprehend it. Then he will acquire it. He will again produce. Simple. So this is a psychological game. Ba 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 ba, mother produced, son comprehended it, he acquired it, then he also produced ba 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 ba. This is the first stage of learning. It is called babbling stage, according to Jean Piaget, a psycholinguist. So if you just look at this, what cognitive processes involved in the ordinary use of language? Theoretical linguistics, theoretical psycholinguistics, developmental psycholinguistics, social psycholinguistics, educational psycholinguistics, neuropsycholinguistics. How many? Theoretical, developmental, social, educational and neuropsycholinguistics. Then comes experimental psycholinguistics and applied psycholinguistics. So this is the systematic stage that that is given a theory, and this is the way you learned Bengali. Surprising, right? We do not know, but we know. We learn Bengali, but we do not know the theory. That's the idea. So, psycholinguistics approach views language and thought related but completely independent phenomena. They are related but freedom, like liberated phenomena. As you know, Stephen Krashen's argues that understand and language learn, he or she must be exposed to the linguistic input. Let me give you one example. One of my teachers, Professor Sarwar Morshid from Chittagong University, he went to London, Manchester, I guess. He has fallen down in the street. Some British people came and said that, "You okay? You okay?" Then sir said, "Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine, no problem." Another person came, "You okay?" He got sorry, "Yeah, I'm okay." Then he himself got up. He came back and then he was asking one of his friends that, "When I have fallen down, people were asking, 'You okay, you okay?' I don't know what do they mean. I was absolutely fine, I was not bleeding, I just fell down." Then his friend said that actually in London, Manchester, "You okay" means, "Can I help you?" So this is a social perspective of language basically. So that is, Krashen said, you have to be exposed to the linguistic input, then you will learn. And language learning and language acquisition, there were so many ideas related to it. Learning and acquisition, there is a vast difference. What is acquisition and what is learning? Learning means, suppose you are sitting for an examination and you have to sit for the examination and you have to pass the exam, that's why you are learning. You memorize some points, you memorize the questions, you practiced it and you have done well in the exam. This is learning. What is acquisition? Suppose I have described a theory, child language development, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, right? And I have described the stages. I have shown you the picture, I have shown a video. I didn't say that. Whatever you just understood, write it down. So this is not learning. This is what? Acquisition. Similar way, your mother tongue. Mother tongue is not learning, acquisition. Second language? Learning. But in some cases, second language also becomes acquisition. When you have third language, it happens. So this is the difference between acquisition and learning. Now let's come to factors affecting language learning. Number 1, according to Lightbound and Spada, intelligence. I gave you a problem, language problem. Everybody, suppose think about the listening task I gave, right? Listening task cannot be approached equally by everyone. Somebody has done very well, somebody has done medium, somebody has done less, and somebody has done the least. So intelligence varies. Number 2, aptitude. What is aptitude? Specific ability thought to predict success in language learning. So aptitude and attitude, there is a difference. Attitude means your perspective, outlook, positive or negative idea on some topic. But aptitude is your specific ability. Suppose you are very good at reading, you are very good at listening, you are very good at writing, you are very good at speaking. This is your aptitude. Clear? Then comes learning style. How do you learn? You learn best when teachers guide you. You learn best when you study alone home. You learn best when you discuss with your friends. It varies from one person to another person. So the term learning style has been used to describe an individual natural, habitual and preferred way of absorbing, processing and retaining new information. That's it. Amazing. Personality. There are various types of personality. Some people are strict, some people are angry, some people are very friendly, some people are very much smiling, some people are easily acceptable, some people are like extrovert, some people are introvert. So, have a look here. A number of personality characteristics have been proposed as likely to affect the second language learning. It is often argued that an extroverted person is well suited to a language learning. So, what is this? Extroverted person. Another aspect of personality has been studied, inhibition. It has been suggested that inhibition discourages risk taking. Inhibition discourages risk taking, which is necessary for progress in language learning. And learner anxiety, another thing. There are two types of anxiety: facilitating anxiety, debilitating anxiety. So, what is facilitating anxiety? An anxiety which will make you active. Oh, if I cannot do well in the exam, my prestige will be gone, I have to study. This is facilitating anxiety. Debilitating anxiety, I am very weak, I have no confidence. Last year I failed, this year I will also fail. Let's forget about study, I will just attend. This is what? Debilitating anxiety, you are nervous. So, go through it properly. Now, let us come to motivation. There are two types of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. So, motivation has been defined in terms of two factors: learners' communication needs and their attitudes towards the language, second language. If learners need to speak the second language in a wide range of social situations to fulfill professional ambitions, they will perceive the communicative value of the second language. Suppose I went to Middle East, I don't know Arabic, but if I learn Arabic, my salary will be double. So, I will learn the language anyhow. I will watch movies, I will see the subtitle, within short time I will learn it. This is what? Intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation. Teachers also influence students' behavior and motivation in language learning. Teacher is one of the students' reasons for studying second language or having aptitude. Suppose my teacher guided me that you study ELT, don't go to study literature. You have the aptitude, good like grasp, good neck for ELT. Study this. I studied. So, this is the influence, external influence. Culture and status. Sorry. Culture and status. Yeah. Culture and status, what does it mean? There are some evidence that students' situation in where own has a lower status than their culture, they are learning the language. So, suppose your culture and another culture matches, you will learn the best. Suppose I am Muslim, I went to Saudi Arabia, I went to Egypt, I went to Morocco, I will easily be able to adjust with them. I am Hindu, I went to India, I went to Mauritius, I went to Nepal actually, then my ability will be very easy to understand and adjust. I am Christian, I went to European countries, American countries, I will be able to adjust very easily. Culture and status very important. Age. All right. Next point is age. Age is a very big factor. Suppose I am very old and I am with you in a learning situation in England. I will not be comfortable with you. I will say that, oh God, they are junior, they are doing well. I am senior, I am not doing well. I will not study with them. I will feel inferior. Or opposite thing could happen. I am senior, I am doing very well, and you are junior, you have no idea, you will just write the theory. I have the experience, I will give more examples, more theories, I will do well. Superior feeling and inferior feeling could occur in learning process. Second language learning is influenced by the age of the learner. Children who already have solid literacy skills in their own language seem to be the best position to acquire a new language efficiently. Suppose Osanu, right? Osanu got married. He has a beautiful kid, but he decided that his kid will be sent to Canada and then he will learn. I am sure he will not be able to speak Osanus language, Bangla language. He will be able to directly acquire English first because of the setting there. That is the children as the best learner. That is the idea. Now let us come to psycholinguistics approach. No child fails to learn a native tongue, and it is mainly learned before the age of 5. That is for sure. Students are considered as people always involve 3 domains of psychology: cognitive, affective, psychomotor, left hemisphere and right hemisphere brain, right? Psycholinguistic approaches to learning conceive learning as a cognitive and individual process in which knowledge is constructed as the learner is exposed to the comprehensible input, is given opportunities to both negotiate and receive negative feedback. Now try to understand this. Exposed to comprehensible input. Suppose I am working in a hotel, not I am. Anthil is working in a restaurant in London. He is from Aboriginal culture and he does not know English well. He is exposed to comprehensible input. Anthil, come over here, serve this table. Please come to table 21. Yes, sir, I am coming. Simple, clear input, he understood. Is given opportunity to both negotiate. So there is opportunity to negotiate. Receive negative feedback. Sorry, don't go there. Sit down there. Don't go. Don't sit. Come over here. So there was, what are you doing? Some sort of shouts. A lot of things were given, and then he got some negative feedbacks, and then he understood that this is wrong, this is right. Psychologically, he makes the language. I have a person who is illiterate, went to London, came back, his English is better than me. Why? So, psycholinguistic approach and 4 language skills. If you have noticed very carefully, today I discussed reading passage and listening. Already speaking is also done one by one. Only writing hasn't been done. Probably you have also done a little bit writing too. So all the skills were in focus. So psycholinguistics approach starts with listening first. Right? Jishu is listening, suppose. His listening ability is very good. So psycholinguistic researchers have indicated that in teaching listening, the intrinsic and extrinsic difficulties should be overcome in order to reach the highly qualified listening activity. Pronunciation problem, accent problem, concentration problem, if you can overcome all these issues, word processing skill, it is called WPM, word per minute. If you can overcome these difficulties, your listening skill will be very upgraded. This is number 1. Number 2, reading skill, text based approach. Already I have given you some reading task, and then you were reading the text and you have gone through, you have understood that you have some pronunciation difficulties, you have some punctuation difficulties, you have understood, and this is called bottom up processing. Happens when someone tries to understand language by looking at individual meanings and grammatical characteristics. Top down processing of language happens when someone uses background information to predict the meaning. Did you understand? Suppose I have no vocabulary, but I can guess word. That is called top down. But you are reading the text and you are looking for the dictionary. In that case, it is called bottom up. Writing skill. Psycholinguistics helps in understanding the student's mistakes in writing. Suppose when I check the script, automatically I find the mistake. Very quickly, within one page, I find 5 or 6 mistakes easily. Why? Psycholinguistics. understanding the students' mistakes in writing. It has a clear contribution on spelling mistakes, since English words are not spelled as they are sound. First of all, spelling mistake I check, then grammar issue, then punctuation, then I go to context. Psycholinguistic approach and speaking skill. So, speaking is a workable control over the field of teaching. Speaking as a skill it has specified several difficulties on speaking, such as students oriented difficulty. Psycholinguistics has also explains the personality, like introvert and extrovert students affects students' performance in language learning. So, the students who are not extrovert, they face difficulty in speaking. Those who are introvert, they are almost unable to produce many sentences. It is internally working, but they cannot bring it out. So, this is all about the psycholinguistics approach and the 4 skills. Hopefully, I have understood.
Hello everyone. Today I am discussing about the natural method. This method is developed by Tracy D. Terrell. This method believes that language learning is a reproduction of the way humans naturally acquire their native language. This method rejects earlier methods such as the audiolingual method. Psycholinguistic principles in language learning according to these methods are following. These natural methods follow some steps, such as language mastery relies on learning language English in natural context and less on conscious learning of grammatical rules. When we speak a mother tongue, we don't actually follow the rules of grammar, or we acquire it from natural, or we hear it from others and learn the language. Learning a language is an effort to develop communicative competence, the ability to understand the speech of native speakers, and native speakers understand the learner's speech without any error which can interfere with meaning. Comprehension is primary than production. The fourth number is the model that underlies this method is 5 monitors theory: acquisition learning hypothesis, natural order hypothesis, monitor hypothesis, feedback hypothesis, effective filter hypothesis.
Okay, second topic is total physical response method. This method is developed by psychologists from San Jose State College, United States, James J. Escher in 1966. Psycholinguistic principles in language learning according to this method are as following. Language competence will improve significantly by involving kinesthetic sensory system in language learning, which means this language will be acquired by physical movement, and physical movement will be involved in learning the or acquire the language. Then this related to the fact that children are given utterances that require to move physically. That means if any lessons are delivered, or any speeches if any speeches are delivered to the students, they actually feel bored and do not acquire so smoothly. But if any task related to this lesson is given to them, they try to act physically and they acquire those listen very first. And then comprehension is primary rather than speech production. Students are directed to achieve comprehension competence before they try to speak or write. That means comprehension is primary in this physical response method, because when the speech is production, they actually do not interested to response. But when that is done in physically, or any act related to this lesson is done physically, they actually try more. They are trying actually more effective than the previous method. Thank you so much.
Astropedia. This method is developed by Georgi Lozanov, a psychiatrist in Bulgaria in 1975. Psycholinguistic principle is language learning according this method are as following. Humans can be directed to do something by giving them a relaxed atmosphere and open a peaceful mind. Those will stimulate nerves to easily spawn and store information for longer. Number 2, before the lesson started, students are persuaded to relax their body and mind in order to gather hypnostic ability. It is an incredible super memory. Number 3, the classroom is set up with dim light, comfortable seat, relaxed atmosphere, and classical music also. Number 4, laboratory program and strict grammar exercise are rejected in this class. Number 5, generally material is presented in a long dialogue. The characteristic of the dialogue are emphasis, vocabularies, and content. B, related to the real life. C, practical unity. D, relevant emotionally, and some words are underlined and given the phonetic transcription.
Thank you. Right, welcome everyone to another section of our class, Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of cognitive development. This is a very interesting one. This is sociolinguistics. So the work of Lev Vygotsky in 1934 has become the foundation of much research and theory in cognitive development over the past several decades, and particularly of what has become known as socio-cultural theory. So cognitive means understanding, knowledge, and the rational faculty. I repeat, understanding, knowledge, and rational faculty. It's a complex process of learning. So Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory views human development as a socially mediated process in which children acquire their cultural values, beliefs, and problem-solving strategies through collaborative dialogues with more knowledgeable members of the society. Simple. Think about a child who is 4 years old. When he communicates with his uncles, his relatives, and then gradually he develops like, this is right, this is wrong, in this context he has to say no, in this context he has to say yes. Suppose there is a line, are you a girl? Then he says, no, I am a boy, I am Regan. Something like this. That could be the name that he is uttering. He is learning what? Cultural values, beliefs, and problem-solving strategies. So Vygotsky's theory is comprised of concepts such as culture-specific tools, private speech, and the zone of proximal development. And Vygotsky's theory stresses the fundamental role of social interaction. That is important. Social interaction. So social interaction is very important. Without social interaction, children are unable to learn. Let me give you one example. Shekhar has 2 kids, twin. They are 4 years old. When they talk to their relatives, the kids, they talk to their relatives or the neighbors, they are learning double contextual language. In one language, he is using the pure form of Bangla, another language is using the local language. Then he could mix up and say that এখান থেকে বাস ধাচ্ছে. Did you understand? বাস ধাচ্ছে is a word, it means there is a bad smell coming. এখান থেকে is a pure Bangla form. So he is combining the both forms because he is using pure Bangla in the family, he is using pure local language outside. It is getting blended. So this is a socio-cultural example that I have given. So let's come to the next point. Yes, Vygotsky has developed a socio-cultural approach to cognitive development, and he developed his theories at around the same time as Jean Piaget, and was starting to develop his ideas. So Piaget has given child language development theory. Piaget gave there are 4 stages of learning, but he died at the age of 38. Piaget died at the age of 38, so his theories are incomplete. Although some of his writings are still being translated from Russian. So, like Piaget, Vygotsky could be described as constructivist In that, he was interested in knowledge acquisition as a cumulative event with new experiences and understanding incorporated with the existing cognitive framework. So, let's come to the 7 points. Yeah, please note down the first point. Number 1 is Vygotsky's theory focuses on the role of culture. Role of culture in the development of mental abilities, speech and reasoning in children. Simple. Let me tell you. If I was born and brought up in the village, if I was born and brought up in Dhaka, if I was born and brought up in London, 3 people, village, Dhaka, London, what will be my language ability? Totally different. It is because I am influenced by the surroundings. That is called exposure. Clear? This is number 1. It means we are mental ability is focused. All the abilities are focused on the role of culture. Then number 2, according to Vygotsky, adults in society foster children's cognitive development. Next point is cognitive development. So cognitive development is influenced by whom? Adults. Adults. Your uncle, your father, your mother, your family members. Everything. Suppose they are bad, you will also be bad. They do criminal activities, you will also support them. If they are honest, suppose a son is honest. How? Because his parents are honest. That's why. Let me give you an example. One day a 5-year-old son brought a chicken, live chicken, hen, and his mother slapped him. Let it go. Then he understood that stealing others' thing is bad habit. Clear? Number 3, they show the meaning they attach to objects, events and experiences. So meaning, what is meaning? Meaning is attached to the events. So I already explained an incident. 5-year-old son stole a chicken, gave it to his mother. Mother slapped him. And this is his experience that you cannot steal. Number 4, the interactions with others significantly increases not only the quantity of information but the number of skills a child develops. So skill develops. The more he goes to interaction is very important. The more he goes interaction, the more he learns. The less he interacts, the less he learns. Some children do not talk. Why? Because there is no interaction. Number 5. Vygotsky proposed that children are born with elementary mental abilities such as memory, perception. And that higher mental functions develop from these through the influence of social influence. So write down memory and perception. Children has what? Memory and perception. Perception means they can guess. You understand? Suppose a girl child, baby girl child. They will not accept everybody. Baby girl child will not accept everybody. How? They have their own perception and memory. They understand who is good and who is bad. Am I right? Simple. Number 6. Vygotsky agreed with Piaget that the development of cognitive abilities takes place stages. So after certain age, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, there are certain ages where your ability gradually develops. And Piaget told that in his theory. And Vygotsky agrees with Piaget. Clear? So what is this? Stages of learning. So this is the last. Vygotsky stated that language has 2 functions: inner speech in mental reasoning, external speech used to converse with others. So there are 2 types of speech: inner speech and external speech. Last thing, external speech and inner speech. What do you understand by this? When I came to this class, the first day, when I was talking to you, you have some inner speech, like, oh, this sir is not very old. I thought that he could be old. Where did he come from? See, this is inner speech. Outer speech, sir, hey, good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Yes, sir, fine, sir. This is outer speech. So you have double mentality. Inwardly something is going on, outwardly another thing is going on. Clear? So this is what internal and external speech. So that is the interesting part of Vygotsky. So I'd like to request Antil to be here, please come over here. I will simply ask you one idea. Did you understand that the theory focuses on the role of culture in the mental ability? So do you agree that Vygotsky said culture influences mental ability?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
You agree?
Yes, sir.
How can you explain it?
Because role culture is one kind of system to learning language.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Coming to Antil. So I'm coming to this. Adults foster children's cognitive development. Adults cognitive development. Do you agree that adults help for the children to develop cognitive
Yes, sir.
faculty?
Yes, sir. Because sir, we follow our seniors, elder, and what they do, we also do that. That's why I believe I agree.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Jishu, please come over here. According to Vygotsky, they show the meaning they attach to objects and events and experiences. They provide the child with what to think, how to think. It means adults provide something like what to think, how to think. Do you agree?
Adults provide the child what to do.
How to think, like they show the meaning attached to objects, events and experiences. I gave one example. A child stole a hen, live hen, and mother slapped him, let it go. Then in this event, what did he learn?
He learns to don't steal the
Others things.
other
So
thing.
do you agree that children learn what to think and how to think by the influence of adult?
Yes.
So how is it going on? Like how do you think?
Because from their father, children learn that what to do or what to don't.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation to be here. Actually, it was a kind of physical activity that we are doing. Thank you. All right. So, last thing is Vygotsky proposed that children are born with elementary memory and perception. So, their mental functions through this, and they learn social interactions. So, children are born with elementary mental abilities and memory and perception, that higher mental functions develop through social interactions. So, mental ability and perception and higher mental development through social interactions. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
How can you explain?
From childhood, they actually don't know about other things or the social things. They only follow their adult people, and they, by seeing them, they learn their speech, language, and other things.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now coming to you, the last point. Vygotsky agreed with Piaget that development of cognitive abilities take place in stages. So, G. Piaget gave the theory that there are 4 stages of child language development. Vygotsky agreed with that. So, do you agree that cognitive ability develops with the stage, particular ages? How can you explain?
Yes, sir, I totally agree with this idea, because in some stages, after stages, the children, one child can learn something, like if any baby learn something in their when their stages of childhood, they will learn or understand the topic more when they will be in adulthood life. So there is of course the stage cognitive abilities which takes places in stages, and these stages actually help them to learn something more or more perfectly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's it from me. Well done. Yes.